what BUK requires.
Okay.
Paul on his own, he wants communication and his 2.5 GPA, and he has that and go to school. If he has and just do it over online without knowing anybody, he will do well. That is when he start to like and have.
Let me get a question in. Now, you have said we should strengthen our justice system. We should look into the systems. How do you think we can go about this? You say we shouldn't go back, doing things that we have done before. How do you think we can go about, strengthening the country and ensuring that every part remains strong?
I have a problem with it, so I didn't get it, except it's repeated. There is a
okay, I'm saying that how do we strengthen this justice system that you've talked about? How do we ensure that people get justice? Because if you don't have justice, then you feel, shortchanged somehow and want to take out whatever it is that is within you on somebody else.
Yes. When a system is clustered and no one can understand, it is not transparent. What flourish within such system is nothing but corruption. You understand? What we should do is that we should begin to look at our court system. It should be swift, it should be timely, it should be accessible. We need to have more courts. We need to have civil courts increased. Every community, when you say community, you don't have, when you have like 1 or 2 estates, you already have a community. That community should have all the social amenities that it needs. There should be an accessible justice system. A justice system that you don't have to know anybody to file a claim, to file any legal system. You go through it, and you before you know it, you are standing before a judge, and you get justice. We need to break things down. It is too clumsy. It is too clustered. Even the Constitution, the language there is outdated. Do they have something like Facebook and the Constitution? Do they have WhatsApp? And you are expecting the new graduate who graduated from law school to go and handle this type of clustered language that is outdated, and whatever is in there so massive. We need to the cluster things, make it swift, make it transparent. Okay. This is what it is to the ordinary person on the street understanding.
Okay, Mr. Showme, she has agreed on one part that we need to rejig things, but she's saying we shouldn't do it afresh. Some of the conferences and things that have addressed issues of restructuring, we can go back to it. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, we've had about 10 conferences since the amalgamation of 1914 till date. The most comprehensive so far that seems to have addressed all the issues, if properly examined, is the 2014 National Confab. Strangely, I didn't necessarily agree at a point with the Confab, but look, take away political sentiment. Go and take the document and go through it. You will realize that it's dealing with all the grievances, all the issues which people are concerned with. Let us forget about politics, whether Jonathan did it or he didn't do it. The fact of the matter is meeting all our needs in terms of when you talk about devolution of power is right in there. Talk about the structures and the systems. It's all been addressed right in there, including state police, the issue of what the federal government should do and should not do. Because what AGIA is actually talking about is to look at the institutions under this present structure, which is suffocating everybody, which has not been able to deliver, the dividends to our people. If you tamper with justice system, I do not see, if the system still remains, that you are not devolving power, then you are not really moving towards true federalism. And if we want to practice federalism, you practice it, or let us change our system into something else. When you talk about federalism, you're talking about component states and the center. And therefore, the component states are the drivers. They need to control the resources. There are resources in each area. There is nothing wrong, for instance, in Kogi State, you know, investing in Nasarawa State. You'll be creating jobs for Nasarawa people, you'll be paying tax to Nasarawa people, while at the same time you reap the benefit of your investment. There is nothing wrong in Lagos or Port Harcourt or River State, you know, funding the building of a refinery in Taraba State, and that refinery is strictly dedicated for export purposes to generate foreign exchange revenue for Taraba State. There is absolutely nothing wrong with
Taraba and River State.
Precisely. What we have currently is that you have a situation where all the resources have been migrated to the center. The states are not allowed to do so many things. The current system promotes indolence, state indolence. I'll use that word, state indolence, in the sense that, let me give you a good example. Lagos State, you know, the other time, under Tinubu, I think, invested in power. They produced 80 megawatts strictly for their domestic use. But they are not allowed to, because the federal government controls transmission. Anybody can generate power in Nigeria, but the transmission is the problem. The federal government controls it. So you have to inject it into the national grid. So why should other states invest in power, when in reality whoever invests in it, we all will benefit from it? So it's encouraging, you know, indolence, which is not acceptable. You cannot just say Lagos is surrounded by water, Ogun has water too, but they cannot have the resources simply because they need the permission of federal government. In the same way, when you talk about mining, you cannot mine anything in Nigeria today without Abuja, you know, having to consent to it. You have to obtain the license, and it depends on political will if they want you to do it or not. That cannot be held, because what we are doing is constraining and restricting opportunities for growth and development.
So are we then?
And what people are saying is that, look, if we actually practice true federalism, we will be expanding the economic opportunities available for our people, thereby being able to deal with poverty, deal with youth unemployment, and also ensure that we are able to build a sustainable unity in the country.
Okay. Mr. Onanuju, Kachi Onanuju, apparently he's in Abuja, joins us also from our Abuja studio. Mr. Onanuju, we have just about 3 minutes before we have to take a quick break. But just tell us this. Are we practicing federalism at all? Let's not look at true federalism, because there's that argument of there's nothing like true federalism. Is either you're practicing federalism or you're not. Are we practicing federalism?
No, we're not practicing federalism. There is nothing like that. I think what you have is a unitary system, and that's based on what the soldiers have given to us. So I think we will need to tell ourselves some truth. There is a need to democratize the political superstructure. What we have right now, we've been able to democratize the economy, but the superstructure needs to be democratized, and that's what we're saying. We cannot accept the military decrees because they seem not to be working. We've tried it for 18 years now, and I think we need to sit down and then write a constitution honestly written by we the people, as opposed to this paper given to us by Professor Anwale Yadudu. I think that's where the problem is.
Okay, so when you say we need to look at the superstructure we have now needs to be looked at again, Hajia Miriam talked about the need to look at justice. Can we look at the justice system without touching what you call the superstructure?
No, because what you have right now, it's a military doctrine. We have politely agreed to actually take the military paper. Don't forget, our quest was simply to get rid of the soldiers. And then the soldiers left. As they were leaving after election, we were then handed a constitution. And it turned out that constitution was not written by we the people. It was written by Professor Anwale Yadudu, assisted by Mr. Ola Oshipito. So we have now reached a point where that military document is no more serving us. Yes, we've been able to democratize the economy, but we've not been able to democratize the politics. And that's what we're saying. It is not possible for us to continue to be guided by the decrees written by the soldiers, which Abdul Salami forced us to accept through Decree 24, it's not working. Simply, it's not working. A lot of what the soldiers did were actually done fraudulently. Look, if you look at, only 10 states contributed to the account. Okay. But look at the way President Buhari now instituted nepotism as policy. It is that his use of nepotism as policy that bred...
If I may come in here, you're still talking about a document, that's the Constitution, but Festus, one of the viewers, is concerned about the fact that we need to look at the mindset of the Nigerian. Can we really work on the Constitution without working on the mindset? You answer that question, we'll come back from this break. Don't go away.